What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to Listenack. It's episode number 34 of The Climb. Today, we have a huge match against FC Lorient, one of our big rivals when it comes to the playoffs, and they've been an ever-present thorn in our side, including when they knocked us out of the French Cup earlier on this year when we last met. So I am desperate to beat them. Since we were last here, we've had a youth intake and we've played a load of games. We'll get straight into the games we've covered and then talk a little bit about what's on the horizon in terms of youngsters coming into the first team. We have also had a few of our big key players sign new contracts, which is very, very exciting indeed. So, of course, last episode we took on Red Star. It was a disappointing 1-1 draw. We probably deserved to win it, but ultimately we didn't look particularly poignant or threatening. The good news is, since then, we have got a little bit back on the straight and narrow, and we started that off with a 3-1 win against Troyes. Of course, a team who were promoted with us last year, if I'm not mistaken. Were they promoted? I'm now questioning everything. No, Niort were promoted with us last year. They look kind of similar. They both play in blue. That's not a valid excuse, is it? We beat them anyway. It was 3-1. It was a really good game, this one, from our perspective. We got off to a flyer through Big Dub, just doing Big Dub things. You know what he does at this point. You know what he does. He stood on the near post for corners, and we aimed for his big forehead. He got the opener. They did reply 2 minutes later, so not the most convincing of starts, I suppose. The good news is that in the second half, we really cracked on, and Julien Blaise scored a couple of really good goals. The technique on his second, superb, from a Nuno Cruz cross, and, ultimately, a 3-1 win is a win that we desperately needed. So it's a relief, and Blaise got man of the match, and with that, I was hoping that we could turn it into a bit of momentum. We'd been a bit stop-starty. You can see looking through the form, it was kind of a win, a loss, a win, a draw. And the good news is we did actually manage to string a few results together, because in the very next game against VAFC, we were dominant. Fomba, Kofi and Mercier with the goals, and from that game where Mercier grabbed a goal, he grabbed what ultimately ended up being a difference maker in the game against Ajaccio. In this game, we took the lead very early on. Again, it was a set piece aiming for Big Dub's head. On this occasion, it dropped down in the box. Mercier the first to react. We then scored what was officially given as an own goal. Julien Blaise deserves a lot of the credit though, and that made it 2-0, and from there I felt comfortable for all but 11 minutes, because then they got a goal back. The good news is we weathered a storm, we saw our way through that game, and with that result against a team who once upon a time were really challenging for the title, we really looked settled in the playoffs, and we've kind of pulled away a little bit. The sad news is, against Dijon, who, realistically, I really needed to beat just to make things super comfortable, we couldn't beat them. You can see the stats in the bottom left for this one. I don't think it was very fair. We got FM'd. Their goal was superb. I'm trying not to dwell on it too much. And from a 1-0 loss to a 1-0 win, we beat Guingamp in our most recent game. And in this game, it was Julien Blaise getting the winner. I mean, who else was it going to be? And, speaking of Julien Blaise, I mentioned players signing new contracts. Yes, Julien has signed a new deal. It's a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot of money. It's an eye-watering sum of money. But ultimately, I feel like Blaise and Kahinde are the two players I just need to get tied down on deals, which mean we aren't going to lose them. So you can see the terms of the deal in front of you. I think the big thing to note is the fact that he has the contract extension after promotion, which makes this possibly a 5-year deal. I mean, the great news is that he is locked in for at least the next 3 seasons, and that gives me plenty of time to develop him, really build a team around him, and hopefully get promoted, if not this season, in the coming years. And I've just stated promotion intent, just to look at the league table and how things are looking right now. We currently sit in 4th. We are 2 points behind Sochaux. Lorient, who we played today, have drawn their last 5 games in a row. 4 of them have been 0-0. A win for us here pretty much guarantees us a playoff spot, dare I say. We would be 8 points clear of Lorient with 6 games remaining. It would take an absolute disaster to drop off from them. Dijon, who we lost to, you can see are still in the hunt for the playoffs. They're on 53 points. Ultimately, looking slightly further ahead, Sochaux, who we play on the final day of the season, are currently 2 points ahead of us. And they're only 6 points ahead of us. Dare I even suggest that there's a chance we could catch them? I mean, if I am going to do that, we've got some tough games on the horizon. We've got Metz to play in first, Auxerre, who have dropped a little off the pace in 7th, Clermont in 15th, Grenoble in 18th, Paris FC in 19th, and then what would probably be the big game to end the season. There still could be a lot to play for there when we take on Sochaux at home. Of course, we opened up the season with them. It's a little unusual in Football Manager for you to start the season against a team and end the season against the same team, but it's kind of an exciting prospect. It adds to a narrative, doesn't it? Anyway, you can see here, just looking at the player stats, Kofi is joint top goal scorer in League 2, which is absolutely nuts. Unlike Blaze, I don't feel a massive pressure to get Kofi on a new contract right now. He signed a really big, long contract last season before we were promoted. You can see it's got it's still 2028. It's only 2024 now. It's a 4-year deal on peanuts. I mean, if we got promoted, probably then have to evaluate giving him a pay rise. But right now, absolutely no incentive to do so. But what I have got to say is what an incredible amount of improvement this guy has had. He looks really, really good. He looks like a striker now. I feel like before he looked like more of a winger, whereas this year he's really refined his game. You kind of look at his overall development. It's absolutely nuts what he's achieved so far in such a short period of time. I'm quite excited to see what he can continue to develop and do. Meanwhile, Kahinde running away with the average ratings and the assists. Worth noting that he has got a contract offer that I've given him pending. I'm scared to hit change contract offer to show you it because it will probably cancel it. But he has accepted the terms. If he does go through with them, it's going to make him the highest earning player at the club along with Blaze. And it will be, I believe it's another 3-year deal with a 2-year extension. It was a lot easier to get players to agree to that than just a flat out 5 years. Of course, many players in our team have just that expectation to play a higher level of football. Anyway, in terms of the youth intake, you can see here some of the players in green who's I've not offered professional contracts to, but there are a few who are certainly worth talking about. The first is this guy, Brahim Addons. I think I did that okay, actually. He's left-footed, he's a left winger. I don't know what it is about us and left wingers. We've had Kofi, we've had Blaze, now we've had Brahim. I am training him to play out on the right-hand side, as I would really like him to be able to cut in on his left foot. But he looks like a pretty good player. Just a shame he's inconsistent and injury-prone. I wouldn't say he's quite as standout as some of our past intakes, but no, he definitely deserves a little bit of credit. He looks like he could definitely do a job in the first team down the line. A couple of players that we also picked up. Arnal, I mean, he looks okay. He's well-rounded, but it looks away from the first team. And I think that was the general feeling with this year's intake was players who maybe have some potential, but they're going to have to work really, really hard to realise it. The other guy was Omalade. I have got to show just one more player. And it's this guy, and I don't even know if I'm going to sign a permanent deal for him. I feel like I almost should for his name. He's from Madagascar. Is he from there? I think that's right. Yeah, you can see he's Malagasy. And his name is Lasiba Orazakanantenana. It just sounds like I'm having a seizure, doesn't it? Anyway, moving on. I'm going to offer him a contract. Why not? I want to see his name pop up now and then. I'm a simple man. I want to be entertained by long names. But anyway, let's talk about the team and stuff. So, since you were last here, obviously, we played a load of games. The centre-backs really have been the standout performers. Mercier, 3 goals in 10, a 7.36 rating for him since he joined us from Sochaux. Been a real revelation. He's developed a lot. Kind of mad to think that a team that we're battling with for promotion just had this guy chilling in their second team. I feel like we've got a lot out of him. You kind of compare his average ratings before and after joining us. Yeah, I think we're getting a lot out of him, especially from set pieces. He's just very good in the air, which obviously is huge. And he's kind of taken upon himself the Hugo Robert role in the team, dare I say. Sandy's had an okay start, not quite been a standout, but has improved a hell of a lot, which is really, really great stuff. You can see at 19 years old, you can see that stuff I mentioned before about the inconsistency and injury proneness, but on the face of it, he looks like an exceptional player for this level. Definitely one of the best defenders in the league. In terms of in the final third, it has settled a little bit. Malcolm Viltard's come back into the first team. A few people mentioned the fact he didn't play last episode. One of the reasons for that was that he had been out injured. He pulled some knee ligaments between last episode and the episode before. He hasn't wowed me since he's come back from injury, to be fair. His recent form hasn't been particularly great, which is a bit of a shame because he was in some really good form and that injury's kind of hit him for 6 to a point where maybe I should rotate it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm kind of willing to give him, I think, the benefit of the doubt. Just looking at the goal scoring, you can see here, Kofi and Blaze have 30 goals between them. Kahinde has 14 assists and Blaze has 8 assists. Zangba as well at right back with 6 assists is doing a little bit of work for us. And Cyprian David, who I don't feel like gets enough credit, he's continuing to put in some assists when we play him. So maybe he should be the team in the first team, the player in the first team contention over Viltard today. You can see Viltard has been out with a little injury. He is actually fit to play. But you know what? Cyprian David, I like you. You're homegrown at club. We've not been wowed by anyone out on the right-hand side this year. Maybe this is the change that's needed. It's also worth noting that Julian Blaise actually isn't fit for today's game, so I'm going to have to drop him for Nuno Cruz. I am not risking an injury, no matter how big the game is. You can see he's currently listed as being tired. It has been an intense season for him. And one other thing just to mention before we hop into today's game, people mentioned it yesterday and it totally slipped my mind. Julian Blaise and Kofi are both now French. Yes, Kofi, despite playing 3 international games for the Togo national team, I assume they were all friendlies, he's now switched his nationality allegiance to France, and both Kofi and Julian Blaise have gone from being Algerian and Togolese to now being French. Yeah, they've revoked their access. They've gone, actually, maybe we are good enough to play for the French national team. So that's something worth keeping an eye on. It'd be pretty cool if they could play together in the French national team. Obviously, it's a very competitive national team and they've probably got to improve significantly to be even in with a sniff. I say all this, probably by the end of the summer they'll both have gone back to being Algerian and Togolese and just accepted that they'd rather play regular first team football for the national team. But anyway, I think I'm happy with the team for this game. We have had a few injuries at the back, just worth noting. Lucas Russo is out for up to 2 months. Obviously, he was joining us on loan this year as a left-back. He is injury-prone. Finally, that injury proneness has shown itself. Also, Johan Billingy, you can see injured for up to 2 weeks. Saidi and Payet also out with injuries. We've had a few injuries, actually, when you look at it. You can see players coming back from injuries as well who are due fitness tests. So, yeah, in the fullback positions, it is Zangaba and NDIA, kind of 2 youngsters taking the reins. We'll have to see if they can do the work today. It's a big game for us against Lorient. As I already mentioned, they beat us. They beat us in the French Cup, and it was after extra time. I want revenge for that. We're at home today, but we are Blaiseless, which is definitely a big knock on our team. Julian Blaise, it really can't be underestimated just how big an impact he has on our team. They are playing a 4-1-4-1 for this match, which I feel like this year in Football Manager is just quite a good formation defensively. It may explain why they've got 4 0-0s in 5 games and drawn the other one 1-1. Yeah, 4-1-4-1 is just really, really solid at the back. You really don't concede many with it. Of course, we played Manchester United throughout the history of Parc de Prem, and towards the end they were playing this formation, and it always worked quite well against anything that I felt like I could do, just looking to hit us on the break with men parked behind the ball. And so I guess the chance for us is to break them down as Kahinde just gives the ball straight to Bozok. That is not what we need. That tackle is missed. Panic, everyone, panic. Thomas in goal makes a huge stop. I say this all the time whenever he makes a save. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. Goalkeepers do not get the credit they deserve for saving one-on-ones. Not many goalkeepers save chances like Thomas does. So many opportunities where teams break through and he is the last line of defence and he just does the business for us. He's done it again there. Although we have now got a corner to deal with, which is a little nerve-wracking. It's going to be Cabot with it. 10 minutes gone. Chances galore at either end. A set piece here for them. We head it clear. Nuno Cruz. Get it. Not back into the penalty area, Nuno. Especially not to NDIA. As much as I trust him, I don't trust him that much. Zangba whipping in the ball. Headed down. Hits the woodwork. Bounces out. I feel like with NDIA, he's the kind of guy who I would trust to water my plants at my house. But if I needed him to look after my pet, I wouldn't trust him with it. Does that make sense? That's the level of trust I'm on with NDIA. You know what? Give him the ball in certain areas and it's fine. Do not pass it back to him when he's in the penalty area. That is just a disaster waiting to happen. Ball whipped in back post. For a second I was going to say aim towards Blaise, just out of habit. But he's not there. He's not there. He's on the bench. He does need a rest though. 70% condition. I don't know about you. Anything below 90, you're not playing. You're not starting at least. If with 20 minutes left we're chasing this game, I would probably throw him on and risk him to try and get us a result, but even in a big game against this, you know, I don't think it's worth the risk. Really, we're playing this game knowing that a win keeps us in contention, I suppose, to be in the playoffs. That's the be-all and end-all here. If we lose here, suddenly the gap drops between us and Lorient and potentially Dijon to 2 points, and we have to worry. A win here. Remember what I said about NDIA earlier? Yeah, I'm not letting him water my plants. I'm not letting him water my plants. Right. Throw away I'll have my house keys back, NDIA. I'm not going to go on holiday anymore. I'll water them myself. I can't trust you. What is that? What is that? I don't know what to tell you. What am I meant to say about that? What am I meant to say about that? Zangaba to Cruz. What can you do? What can you do, Cruz? He cruises past one. He can't finish it, though. Nardi holds on to it in goal for Lorient. I mean, we're the home team here, and we've had the better chances, but for a moment of... I don't even know if you can call it a moment of madness. How would you describe that moment? A moment of stupidity? A moment of pure idiocy? I don't know. I don't know. But it's 1-0 to Lorient, and they are on the attack again here. Cabot with it, cutting in from this right-hand side. He's very tired. Either that or he's got a knock. How tired is their team, actually? Okay, their team is a bit more tired than ours. We did play a game already this week, so the fixture schedule is a little intense at this end of the season. I mean, Thomas has the best average rating in the team in goal. And to be fair, he couldn't have saved the goal that they've scored. So I don't know if we can really blame him. 1-0 to Lorient, though. 1-0 to Lorient, and I feel like, do I want to bring in Julian Blaise this soon? Is it too early? Some people will say it is. I say, you know what? I say YOLO. I say YOLO. Let's just go for it. Zangaba whipping it into the box. Sandy's there. Sandy heads wide. Oh, I thought for a second the Costa Rican was going to get his first goal in the team at a vital, vital moment. Unfortunately, the chance is squandered. You can see here they have had the better clear-cut chances, of course. They are looking to just hit us on the break and run at us with their 4-1-4-1. But we are having more of the ball. We're having more shots. The numbers game suggests that we'll be the team to get into it and get the next goal. But when has the numbers game meant anything in this game of football? Right, don't give it to NDIA. Just boot it up to the midfield. There we go. That's the right strategy. Julian Blaise on off the bench. He's tired, but we need him. He's awoken when we needed him the most. Cyprian David ghosts inside. Can he finish it? No, he cannot. We've had a lot of shots from that kind of situation today. Or we kind of take it past a man or two, half a chance in the box we shoot, and it's just a little bit wasteful, isn't it? It's weird, because I kind of want to go more attacking, but I know that in going more attacking here, we are opening ourselves up at the back. We are definitely just going to end up causing ourselves issues longer term. Why is my... oh, it's because I've done some tactical changes. Let me hit play here, then stop. Tactics. Let's do some stuff. NDIA, I don't know what to make of what you've done today, mate, but I do need you higher up the pitch at this point. Gahinde, go on defend duty. Fomba, centre mid on attack. Get forward, my friend. Make something happen. I'm going to bring on Viltard for David. And I've got one last change in my locker. And it's going to be Luis Carlos for Fomba, I think, actually. Luis Carlos for Fomba. Get on attack. Get forward, Luis Carlos. Win the ball for us higher up the pitch. That's what I need from you right now. Anyway, Julian Blaise, Gahinde. Is this a highlight or is this just showing because I tried to make changes? I don't have a Scooby-Doo. Fomba. I mean, we know that they don't concede many goals, Lorient. They've drawn 4 of their last 5 games 0-0. And the other one, they drew 1-1. So you kind of know what you're getting with them. So the challenge is there for us to try and break them down now. Unfortunately, in chasing the game more and going more attacking, we are going to leave ourselves open at the back. But we kind of just have to go for it. One last shout to demand more. Is it out of desperation more than anything else? Perhaps. Nothing is happening. There are no highlights. NDIA, you've lost us the game. And as Julian Blaise can score with the last kick of the game. Julian, if there ever was a time, it's now. He hits it. It's tipped onto the woodwork. It's lumped clear. And Lorient are going to hold on here. I don't know how they've done it. I genuinely don't know how they've done it. We've hit the woodwork twice. We've had the better chances. And through this goal could be the difference between us being in the playoffs and not being in the playoffs at the end of the year. I think I'm allowed to be upset. I think I'm allowed to be upset about that one. There's sometimes where I'm like, why is someone sulking in Football Manager? Like, you know, you got unlucky, you got FM'd. That is just pure idiocy. I'm not. I'll ask Zangaba to water my plants. And of course, he's now 1 game away from a clause that would see his wages go up. Right, you're never playing again. I've decided. Oh, it's so unfortunate. Between this game and also the game against Dijon, where we dominated the match. Oh, sorry, not this game against Dijon. The other game against Dijon. Between that game and this match against Dijon, where if we just look at the match stats, I mean, we lost this one with 6 half chances and 1 clear-cut chance. These 2 defeats, these 2 1-0s, are probably going to be the difference potentially between being in the playoffs and not being in the playoffs. It's worth noting Lorient have closed the gap to 1 point. Dijon and everyone else haven't played yet. So let's hit continue here, because there's later kickoffs. The games to keep an eye on, we need Sochaux to lose. That would be nice. Metz losing, I don't think is going to make a world of difference, although if they lose, we'll celebrate it. Cannes in second, we kind of need to lose. Dijon's the big one, though. Dijon, slip up away from home. Keep the gap that we had going into this game week of 6 points, I think it was, or 5 points. That's what we really care about now. Can the results go in our favour? I can see there Metz have won, so that was wishful thinking. Elsewhere, Sochaux have won. That's not good. Dijon did lose. That is massive, and Cannes won, unfortunately, for us. What that means is, you can see here, the gap remains at 6 points. With 6 games remaining now, we're looking pretty good for a playoff spot, dare I say, even if we're kind of incapable of winning more than 3 games in a row at the moment. It feels like we've been super inconsistent, and the lack of goals in the last couple of games is perhaps a tiny bit concerning, especially at home. But I don't want to overreact too soon, and with the exception of the Metz game and the Sochaux game, I think the remaining 4 games kind of give us an opportunity to maybe build up a little momentum going into the end of the season. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. Thank you so much for watching, as always. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I mean, I hate NDIA, I've decided. I just hate him. And I know I shouldn't. And I know I should blame him. I was about to say I shouldn't blame him. I absolutely blame you for the loss today, NDIA. It's your fault. Interaction, warm player, criticised last game. You were awful. You were awful. Don't use that tone with me, boy. Look at him. Look at him. Screw you, NDIA. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. It is me, Jack. Thank you for watching. And I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Get the belt out. We're giving him a spanking.